This morning we're going to cover part 2 of using like in MongoDB, and this time we're going to look for kind of give information about looking for how characters are evaluated in MongoDB. One thing to note is a couple of things, and we'll see examples of this, is that if you use a lowercase character when you're applying the regex operator, what you will find is that you don't get the information returned. So first of all, let's look at our a collection here, and this collection here is spread filter pi. And what I want to do is I want to actually look for where the name is equal to inflation. And there's in this collection there's 192 documents. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do let's actually go back to here. I'm going to call the same query again, and I'm going to specify name where I want to apply the filter to. And then we're going to use our regex operator, which is our like basically in Mongo. Now I'm going to do this first, and I'm going to say inflation. So let's say I'm looking for inflation information, okay, where there's a document in here about inflation. And you'll notice that it doesn't return anything, okay? So this is something to note about regex. If I do inflation without the I, it's because inflation here is caps, okay? So this is one thing just to note, that if you don't get documents back and you're looking at text, it could be for these reasons. So we can look and we can actually check out and see the documents here related to that. And if we wanted, keep in mind we could sit there and do a further filter now that we know what, in fact you'll see that 3 of the documents are inflation indexed, and this one is just the trimmed mean PC inflation rate. Now if we were to call this again, we could see the same thing with employment. If I were to type in employment, I might not get anything back, though in this case I do because there's unemployment, right? However, if I were to type in employment, I may get more documents this time because, for instance, in this case right here, see state and metro area employment hours and earnings. So this one won't come back when I do employment with lowercase. This one will come when I do the just employment. So one of the things, and it depends on the words that you're filtering, but outside of, if you don't want to use the 2 upper or 2 lower or anything like that, or any edit like that, keep in mind whatever words you're filtering on, you can always do words like this. You can trim off the very first character, or you can capitalize it. If you want both, my suggestion is just to eliminate the first vowel. So as you can see, and this is this regex operator, and this is the reason why I wanted to cover part 2, is a lot of learning about like the like query. It's the same thing true in SQL, is just, you know, experimenting around and seeing, that comes back this time, but it doesn't come back this other time, or whatnot. And I understand why some people, I'm the same way, why you may not want to get into the 2 upper or 2 lower, because at some point it's like, okay, I would prefer to just do this pretty straightforward. So those are just some additional notes about the regex operator here when you're doing the like. Make sure that the case is going to match, because it is going to be particular to whether it's capitalized or not capitalized. And then the other piece of information there is to, if you can cut off the very first vowel, go ahead and do that, because that'll save you a lot of time.